and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're listening to episode 74 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, save it to your device, send it to a loved one or enemy. And then, after you've completed the entire episode, you're going to head on over to YouTube because you should be watching on YouTube anyway. And why is that? Well, that's because today I'm looking exceptionally fresh. We've got this blue cheetah print, just velvety shirt on right now. My chest hair is flourishing. I'm looking peak dago with the pinky ring. We got the Cardis on, the wires, in lieu of our fake Cardi rant last episode. You also would have seen me nearly throw my back out just now, giving the people's elbow to the microphone. I'm old and washed. And anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, Pikachu, right there. I pointed to Gengar, but I was talking to Pikachu. Keeping you on your toes early. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, smash the ever-loving fuck out of that subscribe button, and grease up the comments by grabbing a little rhythm juice. Yeah, grabbing a little bit of that rhythm grease and greasing up that comment section by leaving a comment because you're an oil man. Okay, go ahead and do that. And let's get into the episode, yeah? First things first, the Detroit Lions won. Feels good. Feels damn good. They won on Monday Night Football. I was at a studio session, got the win. Guys, I'm recording at 8 p.m. right now, so my voice is going to be a little bit more sultry. Yeah. Sorry, fellas. Might want to make sure that your lady's not listening, because I'm hitting like a smooth jazz station at 12 o'clock right now, like she's cruising home from a long work day. You're now tuning into 107.5 Good Luck. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and we're going to take you through the week. The Detroit Tigers, hottest team in baseball, won their series, beat the Astros. Shout out to Detroit, even though they got their ass kicked today by Cleveland. Fuck you, Ohio. We're not going to talk about sports too long. I don't want to lose all my listeners that aren't sports people, so let's move on. One more thing before we move on with the week. Let's talk about my week. I finally got my shadow ban lifted from Instagram. Woo! Rejoice, dude. After 4 fucking months of my content not being pushed to non-followers because Instagram is on bullshit, the ban has been lifted. Time to continue world domination and explosive growth. Okay, so I saw The Joker 2, and a lot of people are dunking on this movie right now because it's trendy. You know, like, oh, this movie was so bad. It's like the trendy thing to talk about. Dear God, does it deserve it? This movie was fucking horrible. I wanted so badly for it to be good. Unlike most sequels, which are usually horrible, you can't call this a lazy cash grab because it's something even worse. It's nothing like the first one. It's a miserable derivative. Even worse, it's a musical. Yuck. A musical, dude. Didn't advertise it as a musical. Nobody in the theater knew it was going to be a musical. All of a sudden, you're like watching the movie, you're like, is this a musical? It was a fucking musical. But here's the thing. Musicals can work. If you haven't figured it out by now, I hate musicals. But they can work, and there are some good musicals. I loved La La Land. Okay, incredible film. A Star is Born with Lady Gaga. Incredible film. Because the music's incredible. The writings is great. The acting, the performance is great. It's a well shot. It's just, it has the things that can, it's there, right? So like you can tolerate a musical if the music is fine. The music was ass, but the movie was worse. This movie's like, it's like Todd Phillips saw how much people liked the like stark staircase scene. You know, he's like, wow, people really like this staircase scene with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm just going to make the whole movie this. Dog shit. And thank God. I mean, to be honest, thank God this movie bombed, because if multiverse musicals became a thing, I'd probably off myself. Lin-Manuel Miranda is Iron Man. You know, can you imagine? Spider-Man, the musical, starring Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't know. I don't know anybody else that does musicals. Daniel Craig. Not Daniel Craig. That's the guy from... What's the guy that played fucking Harry Potter? He does all the musicals. Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe is Thor. Anyway. I don't know. Lady Gaga's awesome. Like, I literally went and saw this movie, so I'm like, all right. The reviews are bad, but like, I like Joaquin Phoenix. I love Lady Gaga. What could go wrong? Everything. Lady Gaga's so fucking talented. Who's her agent? And why do they hate her? Since A Star Is Born, they have booked her nothing but bullshit. Miscast her in every... I don't know. The writing sucked. The music sucked. The movie sucked. It sucked. So don't go see it. Save your money. Speaking of save your money, we got to have a little chat. Guys, stop buying Veneers. Stop. I can't with Veneers. Like a white girl. I can't. I just can't. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just LA. 1 in 30 people I see on the fucking street have Veneers. All these influencers are getting Veneers, you know. Look, your teeth aren't perfect. Most people's teeth aren't perfect. I have good teeth. I got braces, but they're not perfect. Take those fucking dentures out your mouth. You're 25. What are you doing? Those veneers have taken control of your face. They've commanded your face. Those veneers are squatters in your mouth. It's their mouth now. Look at me. I'm the captain now. In your mouth. On your face. Captain Phillips, you lost it. I mean, they're so... You can tell when someone has veneers because it's the most obvious thing in the world. They open their mouth and it's like, ah! You need like polarized fucking glasses. You need to put on the pitties. This one, hey, how's it going? Ah, Jesus Christ. You know when you like flash your fucking brights at somebody because they got their brights on the road? Teeth white as fuck. Blinding. And worse, I'm afraid you look like a horse. You look like a horse. You let some doctor file down your teeth to tiny little nubs, like when you were a baby. And if you take those fucking things out of your mouth, you look like a baby Venus flytrap. It's like the back row of a shark mouth. On your you look insane. You look like a... And like, nobody ever gets normal-sized veneers. No one ever gets veneers that fit them. This isn't like vintage style. It's not 2003. Motherfuckers walking around with oversized XXL Echo size veneer teeth. Looking like fucking Cameron with the oversized tooth wigs on. They're too big. Those teeth are too big. Teeth poking out of your lips with your mouth closed. They look like they're trying to fucking break free. They're trying to break out of your mouth. Take that mouth guard out of your mouth. You're not a middle linebacker, Denise. You're a realtor. Looking like Brian Urlacher on second down. Take it out. You look ridiculous. Paid fucking $50,000 to look like Nigel Thornberry. What are you guys doing, man? Just get braces, I beg of you. Just get braces, okay? Get Invisalign. Anyway, all right. All right. Put the pitties on a little early today. I didn't plan on it, but the joke was too good. Hold on. Okay, let's get the Cardis back on. Oh yeah, feels good wearing the wires. These are like a casual Wednesday Cardi. I mean it's a Saturday, but it feels like a Wednesday when I'm wearing these. Oh no, can I get some unbranded water? I totally forgot. We're gonna keep rolling though. Very. I can't believe I forgot my unbranded water on set today. Thank you so much. It's okay. Yeah, I'll rip the brand off. Off camera. Don't even fucking look at it. Don't even look at it. While I unbrand this water, because look, no free ad space on this show. I mean, I'm really struggling right now. I'm gonna get it. We're gonna talk about. Oh, there we go. You're goddamn right. Yeah, just gonna take a quick sip of this water. Okay. And we're not editing that out. we're not editing that out. You're getting the full experience here on the Good Luck with Gino podcast. All right. Let's talk about the death of 23andMe. The entire board of 23andMe resigned recently, which has people concerned something horrible must have happened. I mean, I love conspiracy theories. I get on the internet. Everyone's like, the entire board of 23andMe just simultaneously resigned. What could this evil company be up to with our DNA? Bling, 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 bling. With the conspiracy theory music. Maybe I'll dub it over this. So let's take a closer look at what's really going on, because I've hated this company forever. And I'm going to walk you through the history of 23andMe. So it was founded in 2006 by Ann Wojcicki. I don't know how to say her fucking last name. Her last name, it's pissing me off so much when I'm looking. Wojcicki. Change it. Change your last name. This last name is fucking stupid. These consonants don't belong together. Wojcicki. How do you pronounce it? Wojcicki. There's like 50 ways you could pronounce this word. It's pissing me. I'm fucking pissed looking at this right now. Okay, so Ann W. founded 23andMe in 2006, and it quickly gained attention with its direct-to-consumer genetic testing kits, which allowed users to explore their genetic ancestry and health predispositions. The idea of this company from the jump was to reinvent healthcare. Okay? It wasn't supposed to be like an Ancestry.com kit. It was like, we're going to reinvent healthcare. Okay? The problem is that the products faced regulatory scrutiny because they were bullshit. Okay? And the FDA completely halted the sale of their health-related genetic tests in 2013, citing concerns over accuracy and interpretation. So the company then had to completely pivot to the ancestry-only testing until regulatory approvals came through. So basically, then she starts dating Google co-founder Sergey Brin, right? And the company immediately becomes the hottest startup in Silicon Valley. They're doing these things called spit parties, which sounds like a Diddy party, where she would basically swab the cheeks of billionaires, which sounds like a Diddy party, and founders alike, right? So they would like Robert Murdoch and like all these people, they'd swab their cheek and then, oh, wow, what a fun fucking cocktail soiree thing. The problem is the science on the genetic testing is not very good. Genetic testing is insanely nuanced. You can't, it's not just like a little buy at home kit that you get at fucking CVS. Okay. It's not like a consumer facing product, which was their whole idea. Disrupt the healthcare industry. Basically, like, you don't need doctors. Just grab the 23andMe home genetic testing kit. And it was bullshit. And that's why the FDA shut them down for 7 years. Now, within months of the FDA shutting them down, she finds out her husband is cheating. Now, this has nothing to do with 23andMe. It's just hilarious because then she starts dating Alex Rodriguez. Now, I, again, Tigers fan, hate the fucking Yankees. So A-Rod starts dating, I'm taking interest in all, I'm following through the Silicon Valley drama. I'm having a good time. Then the company goes public. After it finally gets approved by the FDA, it goes public through a special acquisition company, right? Now, this is a problem, and I'll explain why very soon. So they go public, and they're killing it. They're crushing it. The stock price is like $16. Everything's going crazy and great. Well, recently, over the last couple of years, the concerns over a giant tech company owning everybody's genetic information began to grow with all the data leaks that were kind of happening. I think people started to think like, well, maybe it wasn't the best idea to just pay money to send all my genetic information to some giant tech conglomerate in Silicon Valley. So these concerns start to grow, and Ann W. and the company reassures everybody, don't worry, your data's safe with us. Well, there was a data breach. Wouldn't you know it? Oh, wouldn't you know it? There's a giant fucking data breach that affects over 7 million people. Last fall. Finally, there's a giant settlement, and all of a sudden, everybody realizes how fucking stupid of an idea this is, right? And that's a problem because the company kind of relies on people trusting them with their information and genetic data. It's kind of the whole business model. So if people stop sending, and also like you only do this once. So like this comes out, you're not doing this every week or every year. You do it one time. Oh, I want to find out if I'm part black because I'm a white guy and I want to say the N-word. Oh, I want to find out if I'm part Native American because I want to try to, I want, fucking whatever. So they're running into a problem. It's a publicly traded company. The stock price is going down. The shareholders are asking questions. The board members are like, what's going on with our shares? Everything is fucked. And this is a problem because, again, this company has never turned a profit. And the thing about all tech companies, especially ones in Silicon Valley during this giant tech bubble that has burst and is just constantly bursting and reinflating and bursting, all these companies don't actually want to make money. There's an episode on Silicon Valley, literally, where they're like, he's talking about, we just got to make a profit. And the guy's like, no, you don't want to make money. You want to lose money. Because then you can promise and then you can get more funding and you can keep promised this future of profitability. You don't want to actually ever become profitable because then people are looking at the P&L. And the problem is they never had a fucking plan. This was their only plan. And when you lose public trust and your stock price crashes from $16 to 29 cents, the dominoes start to fall. The company is now a shit stock. It's a penny stock. And the company has no plan. They considered pivoting to, Ann's like got this plan to try to pivot where she was going to like create and sell drugs, which is insanely expensive and tedious and takes fucking forever to get approval. Like that's a terrible idea. She was talking about pivoting to a subscription-based model. Huh? It's not Netflix. And nothing is sticking. So the entire board resigned. Gross margins around 33%, net margins at like negative 100%. They'd have to quadruple sales to even break even. So of course the board's going to quit. The company is cooked. 23andMe is basically Theranos, part 2. She's essentially just Elizabeth Holmes with a harder last name to pronounce and less turtlenecks. And Wakajiki. Here's what's concerning now, though. This is a for-profit acquisition company, like I talked about before. And there's nothing stopping them from selling off everybody's extremely valuable genetic information and data when this company inevitably goes belly up. As of now, Ann says she has no intention of selling the data and plans to take the company private, which now's a good time because the stock price is so low. So stock buybacks would be much cheaper to do it now than. She controls 49% of voting power and owns 20% of the shares, which basically means it could still happen without her if the whole board is like, we're selling everything. So if you've done a 23andMe, as they say on the Good Luck show, good luck. Moving on. Let's pivot, yeah? Let's journey over to your most trusted source of news. And of course that would be the Gino News Network. Welcome to GNN. Welcome to GNN, the most trusted source of news, entertainment, politics, and today, politics. And now your host, Gino the Ghost. Welcome to GNN. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and this is the news. Before we get into our main story, we're going to talk about President Jimmy Carter. President Jimmy Carter turned 100 years old this past week, and in honor of that, his family rolled him out to enjoy a jet display from the Air Force. And the video has gone viral because, well, you'll see. Here it is. There's the jets. Yeah. I don't know if Jimmy can see them, but there they are. Okay. Well, you know what they say, white don't crack. He looks great. He looks surprised he's still alive. Are we sure he's still alive? I'm looking at this. Man, I mean, this is... why did they do this, you know? He looks every bit of 100 years old. I mean, they wheeled old Jimmy out there like that old worm in SpongeBob. You know that? I remember when chocolate was... I gotta find this. Hold on. I'm so sorry. This is... I gotta find... SpongeBob worm old chocolate. Here we go. Okay, I found it. Here it is.
What? Chocolate! I can't hear you! They're selling chocolate! They're selling chocolate? Yeah! Chocolate. I remember when they first invented chocolate. Sweet, sweet chocolate.
That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy Carter. Oh man, 100 years old is crazy, dude. First president to 100. That's pretty tight. Also, like a pretty likable president. I feel like people pretty much fucked with Jimmy Carter, right? 100 years old. That's crazy. Uncle Sam was his literal uncle. And you know, he only served one term. You know what that means, right? 4 more years. 4 more years. Let's get him out there. I mean, Jimmy looks young enough to run for office. He's like 10 years older than Donald Trump. Average Congress member age. Looks fine. He looks great. Get him in there. Let's wheel him on over to Senate. He's in hospice. He's been in hospice for 1.5 years, dude. Can you call it hospice at 1.5 years? Sounds like he's just at the crib. He's just like at home. Bro's been playing Candy Crush on 1% on the iPhone for days now, dude. Secret Service must be protecting him from the Grim Reaper. 100 years old. Shout out Jimmy Carter, man. Hang in there, Jimmy. Okay. Let's talk about the vice presidential debate. Tim Walz and J.D. Vance debated this past week. And you know what? I got to say, J.D. Vance actually held his own. I was surprised. I fucking despise J.D. Vance for reasons I've already explained on the show. And, you know, Tim Walz did solid too, but consensus is that he probably lost. Polymarket dubbed J.D. Vance the winner. And I'm also going to dub J.D. Vance the winner just because, like, I feel like expectation, he was the least favorable candidate of the 4 through polling, lowest approval rating. I feel like people had a pretty low expectation and he like knocked it out of the park. He did a pretty good job. And Tim Walz, you know, Tim Walz kind of has that doopy, Well, I'm just I'm everybody's fun uncle look going to him, which is great in like a lot of cases. But, in a debate, both men were very respectful and cordial, perhaps too respectful and cordial for what this country is used to. And so the feedback was that it was pretty fucking boring. Everyone was like, wow, what a boring debate. They were like agreeing with each other the whole time. The whole debate was basically like, I actually agree with JD on this one. I think me and Walz aren't too far off on this one. Like the whole fucking time, basically. And it just kind of really shows how fucked the rest of this whole presidential campaign is, right? How dysfunctional one of the candidates is, right? We'll get into it. The big gaffe from Walz was when he misspoke and said he was friends with school shooters. Nice one. I'm not going to play it because I just forgot to save the video, but it's hilarious. Look it up. The big gaffe from Vance wasn't really a gaffe. It's just something that is a common trend, and we're going to discuss it, and it's going to be the main story for today. And that is the election denial. That is denying the 2020 election still in 2024. So let's get into our main story, which we're calling Stop the Steal of Stopping the Steal. We're going to call it Stopping the Stop the Steal. We're going to call it Stopping Stop the Steal. We're one of those. And we're going to put on the pitties again. And we're going to put on the America pitties because we're talking about America and we're getting serious. Okay? Pikachu, do you want to wear the cardies? Let's put the cardies on, Pikachu. So, okay, let's, God damn it, he looks good, doesn't he? Let's recap the 2020 U.S. presidential election controversy centered around allegations of election fraud. If you've lived under a rock or you just need a refresher, let me walk you through this. So before the election even happened, basically, Trump and his allies began casting doubt on the reliability of mail-in voting, claiming it would lead to widespread voter fraud. And despite these claims, no substantial evidence was presented to support the theory that mail-in voting is inherently fraudulent. After the election, Trump and his team claimed the election was stolen due to said widespread voter fraud. Okay? Through the Dominion machines and mail-in voting and a whole bunch of shit that was plain made up. Just completely fabricated entirely. There was Sharpie Gate. There was all this bullshit that was regurgitated by fucking Giuliani and Trump and that one dumb woman, I forget her name. She was just, it was a fucking clown show, right? And Giuliani and this woman, I forget her, what was her fucking name? It doesn't matter. Not important. She's not important. Then the Trump campaign started filing numerous lawsuits in key battleground states, attempting to challenge the election results. The vast majority of these lawsuits were instantly dismissed due to lack of evidence. Courts, including those with judges appointed by Trump, Republican judges, found no substantial evidence of fraud that would have affected the election's outcome. Okay? Well, that's not enough because after the election was, we're talking like now it's November, December. Trump is personally reaching out to several state officials, urging them to reconsider the results. Most notably, in a phone call with Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, when he asks him to help him, and I quote, help him find 11,780 votes. Yeah, all we need is 11,780 votes. If you can just help me find those. Talk about election fraud. And then, of course, we had January 6th. So leading up to January 6th, you've got all this mounting, fucking narrative of election fraud. January 6th happens. We all know what happened. Capitol riot, trying to fucking hang Mike Pence. Person gets killed. Police officers die. Pretty much the worst thing that's happened to our country since, I don't know, the Civil War, maybe? I don't know. And despite all that, Joe Biden was certified the winner when Mike Pence cast the final fucking whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Anyway, then Trump gets impeached by the House of Representatives for incitement of insurrection, which was his second impeachment, and he was acquitted by the Senate. Now, the narrative of a stolen election pushed without evidence, has been widely discredited by election officials, judges, cybersecurity experts, including Trump's own appointed Department of Homeland Security head and the Justice Department, and anybody with a brain. The continuous promotion of election fraud, not only from 2020, but foreshadowing this election without evidence, has shattered trust in the electoral process, divided this country even further. It is abhorrent. It undermines democracy. The damage is done. We never questioned this shit. We will now question it forever. There will be dispute. And now, he's doing it again. They're running the same fucking playbook. Trump continues touting how he didn't lose the election in 2020 and is setting up the apparent voter fraud that's about to happen in this election. With all the immigrants, Kamala is airdropping Haitian immigrants from Venezuela to vote for president, to vote against President Trump. Setting it up. And J.D. Vance is doubling down on his debate response. So first, let's watch his debate response. Okay, here's the debate when Walz presses him about the election.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the way?
That wasn't the question.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Has she? Yeah. It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship. No, obviously, Donald Trump and I think that there were problems in 2020. We've talked about it. I'm happy to talk about it further. But you guys attack us for not believing in democracy, the most sacred.
Yeah, buddy. So yes or no? And then he was asked this question at a rally by a reporter.
Trump often describes the 2020 election as rigged, and he often uses the term to describe what he sees as fraud in that election. Trump said that again yesterday at a rally in Michigan. Senator, would you use that specific term rigged? You have said in the past you have concerns about election integrity in the past and going forward. And do you concur with the president that the 2020 election was rigged?
Well, look, I'm from Ohio. I'm not from the South, but I think in the South there's a phrase that really works. Bless your heart.
What?
Look, man, first of all, we're focused on the future.
Nice.
In this election and in this campaign. If you look at what President Trump says, what I say, we are focused on.
If you're focused on the future, maybe you should stop talking about how the election was stolen in 2020, Donald Trump. Yeah, bless your heart is not an Ohio phrase, we know. An Ohio phrase would be, hey, pass the heroin, or let's give serial rapist Deshaun Watson a max contract. Fuck Ohio, fuck the Cleveland Guardians. And then, just ever so recently, this clip has been circulating.
Who won the 2020 election? We're going to go to town. Could you just answer, did Donald Trump win, yes or no?
Yes.
He did win?
Yep.
So will you concede? Will you concede? If your opponent gets more votes, will you concede?
I really feel bad for you, man.
I just want to know, if your opponent gets more votes, will you concede?
Can't answer. So he's just blatantly saying it now. Did Donald Trump win? Yes. Just saying it. Just denying the election. Just undermining democracy right in front of your fucking face. It's not America first. It's Trump first. Do you not see the issue with that? I mean, I'm talking irreversible damage to the Republican Party. The problem is, much of Trump's base not only believes the election was stolen, but they really believe the election was stolen. Because for them, there's no doubt in their mind it was stolen. And it's being stolen again because they inhabit a world where that's a given. They inhabit a world where everything is manipulation. Let's summarize the MAGA cult mentality. And again, I'm not talking about everybody that's voting for Trump or Republicans. I'm talking about the MAGA cult, okay? And if you can't discern the difference, you're probably in the cult, right? The MAGA cult mentality is this. The news is fake. Polls are fake. Science is fake. Elections are fake. The data's fake. The job reports are fake. Trump's convictions are fake. Everything is fake, but baseless conspiracies are real. It's like if Occam's razor was a razor you bought on Temu. It's like if Occam's razor was a razor that you bought at TikTok shop from the guy that was slinging fake cardies last week. Everything is a hoax. Everything is manipulation. Everything is a grand conspiracy to undermine Republicans who, by the way, control the House and the Supreme Court. They'll believe any and every conspiracy, but won't believe the actual truths and realities about Donald Trump. You put the fucking evidence in front of their face. You put his own speeches, the things he's done, his convictions, his impeachments, his adultery, the disgusting things he says constantly. You put it in front of their face. Nah, fake. Huh? It's fucking maddening, dude. And I swear to God, I went into this election like, you know what? There's a world where like I could see myself becoming Republican again. I'm not going to agree with everything that they say. Obviously, I don't agree with them socially on issues. But like, there's a world if I had to pick where like, I'm not voting for Donald Trump, but I could vote for and this party has lost the plot, dude. So they need, if you're a Republican watching this, I'm going to tell you what you need, whether you want to hear it or not. You need this motherfucker to lose so y'all can figure it out in the next 4 years. Because this shit is... I wish I had time to go through all the other insane shit he said this week. He is pushing me farther and farther into a leftist soy boy. He's turning me into a fucking bleeding heart liberal. I'm trying so hard to be a moderate. He's making it impossible for me. Let me take a sip of this unbranded water. Oh man, that's some fucking good microplastics right there. All right. Let's take off the pitties. We got a little too serious there. Sometimes when I put those America pitties on, my inner patriot really comes out and I can't control myself. And we're going to just put these back on Pikachu. I need to put the cardies back on and get my steez back together. And now we're going to get into everybody's favorite segment. The FOH HOF, the Fuck Outta Here Hall of Fame. And this week, we've got some fun ones. This first one brought to you by the worst version of Hitch that ever existed.
Randomly text the women that you're dating that you either don't want to see them anymore or that you don't necessarily like them anymore. Let me explain.
Right off the bat. Sick advice, dude. Can't wait to hear where this one goes. you know?
Randomly text the women that you're dating that you either don't want to see them anymore or that you don't necessarily like them anymore. Let me explain. Keep in mind, you only want to do this once there has been some sort of an emotional connection or there has been some sort of chemistry formed. But here's what I can tell you. Certainty has an inverse relationship to desire, okay? The more amount of certainty that you give a woman that you're dating, meaning, hey, I really like you, hey, I really want to see you, hey, I really like where this is going, you keep text messaging her, you keep phone calling her, the higher level of certainty that you give, the lower her desire becomes. Now notice, I'm not saying that women like drama, I'm saying that they oftentimes will respond to drama. It gets them to engage their emotions because they will oftentimes respond to drama or some sort of tension. Your job as a man is to actually create that first, so that way she has something where her emotions want to actually actively work towards and invest in. By you being the one who is willing to create the drama first, or even necessary tension for that matter, first, instead of waiting for her to do it, you now become the reality TV show that she never wants to stop watching. If you want to master the language of women at an even deeper level, I made an exclusive training for you. It's in my description. It's in my bio. You want to watch that training, that end-to-end presentation that I made for you. It will change the way you look at your dating life once and for all.
Dude, great advice. Fellas, tell your girlfriend you fucking despise her. Fellas, turn your relationship into Real Housewives. That'll really get her going. Thank God this guy's here. I mean, I thought my relationship was great, but hold on, let me just text my girlfriend. Let me just text my girlfriend that I fucking hate her guts real quick. Hold on one second. Oh, he said to only do it if I've had I've got a pretty good, I fucking despise you and don't want to see you anymore. Cool. That'll keep her on her toes. I can't believe he's just giving these gems away for free. I didn't even sign up for his course yet. Fellas, is it gay to like your girlfriend? Fellas, tell your girlfriend you're gay. Keep her on her toes. See how she reacts, you know? Turn your relationship into that telenovela that she can't turn off. Turn your relationship into that R. Kelly trapped in the closet that she can't turn it off. Why is bro huddled over the microphone like he's eating ramen, by the way? Dude, this is such good advice. Stop telling your girl you love her. Kickstart your abusive and emotionally manipulative relationship today. Link in bio. I mean, this is literally the worst advice ever, actually. The more uncertainty you create in a relationship with a woman, she'll just seek security elsewhere. Do you know how women works? Hey, do you know how women works, bro? Do you know how women works? What was this? He said one sentence that was the biggest hosh-posh word salad of bullshit that I've ever heard in my life. Hold on.
Randomly text the women that you're dating that you either don't
it.
want to see them anymore or that you don't necessarily like them anymore. Let me explain. Keep in mind, you only want to do this once there has been some sort of an emotional connection or there has been some sort of chemistry formed. But here's what I can tell you. Certainty has an inverse relationship to desire. Okay.
Certainty has an inverse relationship to desire. Made up. Just made that up. Makes no sense. Really break down the words in which he's saying. Dude, I got to look at his course. I got to read bro's website. Let's look at his website. Okay. It's time to join the global movement to help men increase their SMV. What the fuck is SMV? SMV. SMV. Sexual market value. Help men increase their SMV. Help men increase their sexual market value. Yeah, no, I gave up trading tech stocks. I'm only trading on the SMV index fund right now. Yeah, the S&P 500 is down 2% this month, so I figured it was a good time to buy in. Yeah, I'm long on SMV futures. I opened up a 10x long. Well, and I'm looking to improve my personal SMV score. So I've been hitting the gym a little bit and trying to get my numbers up, paying off my credit cards. My sexual market value. Fellas, what's your SMV? Fellas, drop your SMV score below. Guys, it's so easy. Just treat a woman with respect. Don't be too fucking thirsty. Don't be a pushover and be yourself. And you're 90% of the way there, okay? Obviously, it helps if you're not ugly, but you can figure it out as long as you're not a fucking tool job like this guy, all right? And that advice is free, and you don't got to sign up for a course. Next video. I mean, just presented without comment. Here we go. And again, you're going to need to be watching the Good Luck podcast to really get the full effect of this one. I don't believe there's any audio, but you can tell by the music that it's a white woman in the woods somewhere. Is that person dead? Is that horse eating that person's face? Is this a Jordan Peele movie? What? The fuck is this? If you're not watching, what you should be. You should be. There's a person laying on a massage table in a farm, like in the middle of a farm. And there's a horse, like, with its mouth on the person's mouth. And there's like a healer. I think this is supposed to be like some kind of like spiritual healing thing through horses. And I don't want to be a naysayer, but I don't know if this is working. I don't want to be a naysayer, right? That's a fucking dad joke for you. And you know what? Let me tell you something. That's a good joke. Yeah, I don't know anything about holistic horse healing, but I have a hard time believing that this does actually fucking anything. And if so, quick, somebody wheel Jimmy Carter to the farm. Quick, get some horses over to Jimmy Carter. Because bro is hanging on bro is on 1 HP. This is the whitest this is the whitest thing I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of white shit, right? And I'm white. I'm white. Let me tell you something. I haven't done a 23andMe, but I'm about 100% Italian. But that still categorizes me as white, right? But Italians, we're not quite that white, right? So there's on the white scale, you got the white spectrum, right? And on that white spectrum, this is like right in the middle of that white. This is like that white, hot white spectrum. This is like somewhere vaguely in like England, France white, you know? Like you do your 23andMe, right? You give all your private, privy, super sensitive data and information over to those fine people and Wojciechowski over there at 23andMe. And you find out you're like Czechoslovakian and like, you know, fucking French and Swedish and all that. And that's what white this is. This is the whitest thing I've ever seen. What is this video is fucking crazy, dude. I mean, that horse is making out with this. What are you doing, step horse? What are you doing, step horse? Is the horse giving CPR? Kissing that woman on the mouth like Tom Brady does his own children? Violating that fucking person, man. How much is this woman charging white women for a horse job? And how do I get involved in the business? I'm trying to launch my own horse farm to exploit white women's boundless pursuit of spiritual awakening. What do I got to do? Just get a few horses? Train a few horses to suck off the face of white women for like 5 minutes while I play yogi music? How do you get to a place in your life where you're like, you know, it's been a rough week. I think I'm going to go French kiss a stallion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go drive up to Santa Barbara and go make out with the horse to really rebalance my chakras. I've never been in a K-hole, but I imagine this is what it feels like, you know? My fucking algorithm, dude. I post a video like this and people are like, how do you find these videos, you know? And this video, a lot of times when I've am figuring out what I'm going to do for this segment, I get a lot of videos sent to me, but sometimes I'll just doom scroll Instagram in bed at night. It'll be like 1 a.m. And when this video came on my feed, I knew it was time for bed. It was like, okay, that's enough. All right, time to just going to put this video in the notes and think about it tomorrow. We're done, you know? Okay, last video here. Here we go.
I would get rid of every single thing in my life willingly just to have 5 minutes of a conversation with Jesus Christ. If he's like, yo, we could have 5 minutes timed, no minute more. 5 minutes, one-on-one, me and you are talking, but for the rest, you're going to be living in the jungles eating bugs until you die. I'll be like, bro, make it 3 minutes. Make it 3 minutes. I'll eat those bugs with a smile on my face. I'll look at everybody else saying, Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful place.
What would you ask him in those 3 minutes?
Oh, what a great question.
That's...
I think the first thing I would say is everything I'm grateful for. And then I think the second thing I would ask him is, could you reveal to me the things I should be grateful for that I don't know?
Yeah. That's what you talk to the Son of God about? Look, I'm a Christian, right? But not gonna lie, I think I'll just wait till I'm dead. I'm not about to just give up everything to talk to Jesus when I can just wait until... I definitely don't want to go eat bugs in the jungle afterward, you know? I don't know, man. Would you rather have $500K or dinner with Jesus? So George, let's get this straight. And by the way, I like George's podcast, you know, but I got to bust your balls on this one, my boy. So you would abandon your family and everything you have for 5 minutes with Jesus Christ? What if Jesus is like Kendall Roy from Succession, you know? He's just like I don't want to call Jesus a Nepo baby, but that'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it? You know. Also, like, that's what you talk to Jesus about, dude. That's you're sitting. I mean, just imagine you're sitting down with Jesus at Coffee Bean, right? And you're like, "Hey, Jesus. So before I ask you some questions, I want to just go through and list all the things I'm grateful for." He'd be like, "Yeah, I know, bro. You tell me all the time. Yeah, you tell me like every night." And then all the things you could ask him. What's the meaning of life? You know, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year so I can place a parlay? You know, did we really land on the moon? Is the earth round? So I can really end this, you know? You ask him, so what else should I be grateful for? I mean, you're going to ask him what you should be grateful for just to lose literally all of it moments later? He'd be like, all that praying you did that I had to listen to, I give you a super successful podcast, George, all this money, and you want to just throw it away and eat bugs in the jungle? Bro wants to be Job so bad, you know? And that's a Bible joke. I would be starstruck, personally, if I saw Jesus. I'd be like, you're the Jesus, bro? I wouldn't call him bro. I would not call Jesus bro, by the way. Oh, this whole comedy act I'm doing right now, I would drop the fucking act if I'm talking to Jesus. I'm not joking. I'm not ball busting with Jesus. You know what I mean? Jesus is a carpenter, though, so I would ask if he built 10 homes before 30. And hopefully Jesus, I would imagine Jesus tunes into the Good Luck podcast, and he'd appreciate that joke. I think so. Hopefully Jesus has a sense of humor, because if not, I am cooked. I'd ask him to rate my performance on earth 1 through 10 so far. That's what I'd say. I'd be like, all right, Jesus, rate my performance 1 through 10. How am I doing? I'm 32. How's it going so far? And then the comment section is hilarious. It's like, brother, you can literally talk to him every day. Brother, I literally speak to Jesus every day. Yeah, we get it, bro. You pray. We get it, dude. He's talking about chopping it up with Jesus. You know what I mean? He's talking about having Korean barbecue with Jesus. He's talking about watching the game with Jesus, you know? If I could talk to Jesus, I would tell him it's time to come back. I'd be like, yeah, this place is ready for sure. Probably like 7 years ago, to be honest. Whatever your dad did with Adam and Eve has done irreversible damage. Generational trauma has set in, okay? This place is fucked. We're ready. Come back with the horsemen. We're ready. Bring on the rapture. Okay. Before we go, we're going to do a quick little Just Ask Gino segment. I got a really good question this week and something that I'm pretty passionate about, and I want to share with you guys. And it's advice for all my creatives out there. All my creatives, all the artists out here. Not even just like in music, but this is a music-specific question, but the answer is catered to all artists. So the question I got was, and I'm paraphrasing, Gino, I have so much music, but I just can't bring myself to put it out. How do I stop myself from procrastinating as a creative? Now, artists in every medium will procrastinate when they take their idea too seriously. So like in a studio session, things are happening so fast, you're just kind of like, you're kicking shit out, you're creating. But when you have an idea that you think is the idea, or a song that you think, man, this is like a great fucking song, or like this piece of art is great, you start putting pressure on yourself that doesn't actually exist outside of your own mind. Does that make sense? You start to like fantasize that this is a life-changing piece of work, when in reality, it's likely just a stepping stone. That life-changing song you created, the song of the summer, it's probably just a song. It's probably just a piece of art. It feels overwhelming to get started or release this thing because you think it's such a big deal. And in reality, it's just not that deep. It's just not. You're jerking yourself off, dude. You're looking in the mirror and you just want to kiss yourself. You're looking at this idea you've created like it's the Holy Grail. You're looking at it like it's the Ark of the Covenant. You can't open it up because it's going to fucking, In reality, odds are your idea is just not as good as you think it is. Uh-oh. Ouch. Ugh. Sorry, dude. That song isn't as groundbreaking as you think it is. You didn't bend the genre. You probably didn't create the song of the summer. It might be. It might be the piece of work that changes your life as an artist. It might be the song that propels your career. But you'll never know if you don't put it out. You'll never know if you don't start it. An idea is only as good as what the rest of the world does with it. Otherwise, it may as well be a diary entry. If an idea happens in the forest and nobody hears it, is it an idea? If an apple falls on Sir Isaac Newton's head and he figures out gravity, but he doesn't tell anybody, do we know what gravity is? Maybe. But Sir Isaac Newton isn't getting credit. And that was a metaphor that I didn't know where I was going with it when I started, but we landed it, didn't we? We landed the plane. like Denzel Washington in the movie Flight. I was a little drunk on that one, but we landed the plane. The point I'm making is that idea, that big idea that you have, that is so big that you just, I don't know where to start. I'm scared. Just fucking start it. Oh, this song is so good, but it's just not ready to put out. And like, I don't have the rollout perfected. You're not a perfectionist. You're just a pussy. I'm going to say it again because you need to hear it twice. You're not a perfectionist. You're just a pussy. Put it out. Start that. Get started. Get going on it. Free that idea from your mind palace. And do it right now. But first, head on over to GinoTheGhost.com and why don't you pick up some of that Bring Back Bullying merchandise? Because what better way to get started on that idea than by lacing my pockets with money and showing off that you support the fastest growing podcast in the world. And that's going to conclude our episode. If you're listening to The Good Luck Show on Apple Music or Spotify, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. In fact, why don't you send it to your girlfriend right after you get done telling her that you fucking hate her? Yeah? Right after you get done telling your wife of 12 years that you have 3 kids with that you don't want to see her anymore just to keep the relationship spicy, why don't you send her this episode? And by the time she gets to the FOH HOF, she'll go, oh, I see what he's doing. Oh, he was just trying to keep things. He was just trying to keep me. He just wanted to turn our relationship into a reality show. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, Gengar, make sure you just delicately fondle that like button. And then, like a horse mouth at Horse Therapy, just go ahead and suck off that subscribe button, yeah? And then when you're done doing that, grab some of that Diddy oil from your basement and grease up that algorithm. Grab your son HW, hit the oil well, and say, I'm an oil man. This is my son HW. And leave a comment. And I want to thank you for listening to Good Luck this week. We'll be back next week with another absolute fucking banger. And to send us off, we're going to do so with the Good Luck AI theme song. As the world continues to crumble beneath our feet, I want to thank you for joining me on this narration of the apocalypse. Until next week, good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close.
There's a brand new show that you gotta... What's that show called, Pikachu? That's right. With who? That's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino by your side, you'll be feeling fine.
Hey!
Every week, he's gonna bring the hype.
Woo!
So come on, let's go. Tune in online. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino, it's gonna be a real delight. So get ready to laugh, learn and grow. Good luck, let's go.
Ready for the finale? Bitch.